Alrighty guys, today we are talking about the 3-valve, not just the 2010s. We're going to be talking about 05 to 09. This just so happens to be mine. We'll be talking about it a little bit and see what's going on. Alright, so when it comes to the 3-valve, they have the 3-valve 4.6 liter V8 in it. Designed by Ford. It was in the 05 to 10 models. The 11 and up came with the Coyote, but the 05 to 10s had the 3-valve 4.6 liter V8. Now I'm not gonna lie, these things are horrible when it comes to power, but at the same time, that is stock. All right, these engines themselves routinely last up to 300k miles, definitely 150 plus, even if it's beat on a little bit. But if you actually take care of it, do your routine maintenance and everything, they have been known to last 300k plus, especially in the Mustangs with normal driving. Can't say that much about the transmissions, not super knowledgeable about that. I have the second one in mind, but I beat mine, so you know, only God knows. Now when it comes to this, they don't get horrible gas mileage. Gas prices are up right now, so that is a major concern, but the engine itself is actually really good. So on mine, for example, not too much is done. I got the SR Performance coil packs, which for some reason the stickers are on backwards. I tried reversing them, that doesn't really work, but I got those. Newer OEM spark plugs, nothing upgraded there. Throttle body spacer and a JLT intake, so relatively stock, so to speak. Also got the white line suspension down there that you can kind of see. But yeah, these engines are great. They're pretty bulletproof. Whether you get them in manual or auto, they're gonna hold up for a long time. These things were an improved version of the 2 valves that came in the 99 to 04 Mustangs, I do believe, as well as the Crown Vics. So this, like I said earlier, this happens to be a 2010, so it has a slight different look than the 2005 2009, but it's just an updated body style. Everything else is the same. The engine itself got the stock intake manifold, which depending on what you're doing is actually the preferred, minus the control valve delete, or the flap, I forgot what it's called, but there's these little flaps that open up on the intake manifold. Some people do delete those. They have like a little kit that you can get. Mine's relatively stock, like I said, nothing super major done. I'm not even full bolt on yet. I got some plans for it, but I don't know what I'm doing. I definitely need to get some wheels because I still have the stock 19s. I'm getting a new bumper soon, even though I like my insert crowd here. But yeah, these things are great. They sound amazing. The parts for them aren't super expensive, which is a plus. The intake itself is only like 300, which in terms of performance intakes is not that bad. So now as far as interior goes, excuse mine's a little dirty. I haven't really driven this thing in too long, but as far as interior goes, it's not horrible. I got leather seats. This actually glows, the Mustang logo. It's a little too bright outside to show you. Then we got the dash. They don't come wrapped like that. I did that myself. Not the best, but the dash isn't horrible. Pretty standard. Don't know what that knocking is. I was told it does that on everything. Some of these you can get the touchscreens, not in the 05 to 09. I don't think so, at least. The 10 to 14, they did have a slightly bigger module. It took up about this much space. It's all touchscreen, but you got a good sound system in it for it being not touch. The interior is not horrible. I did add the little lights that you can't really see because it's dark outside, but it's not horrible. There's a decent amount of room in the back. Seats are pretty comfy. I don't have the stock shifter. I actually have a Hurst shifter.
Sync has connected to your...
Sorry about that. I actually have a Hurst shifter, short shift, so pretty smooth. Not that hard to do either. Pretty good first mod, if you ask me. Definitely helps with the launching capabilities. The vision out of it is not as bad as like a Camaro, for example, you know, so that's pretty dope. Power windows, these things aren't bad. Definitely a good beginner's car. And one of the reasons for that, other than the fact that it is a stick shift V8, but they're also pretty cheap, so that's a pretty cool thing. This is an overview of it. Now, if you're thinking about getting your first car, ignore the horrible paint job on this, but if you're thinking about getting your first car, 3-valve Mustangs are not bad. Everything on these things are reasonably priced. You don't get a super high amount of power like the Coyotes do stock, but if you plan on actually building it, these blocks themselves can easily handle 450 to 500 stock everything. The engine itself is good for 8, but the internals, that's kind of where they start maxing out, about 400 to 500. But if you get a 3-valve, even if you don't even get the Mustang, you just get the engine, you put forged internals in there, you can be making about Coyote power after you get everything. I'm talking about ported heads, crankshaft, pistons, rods, everything. Good tune, obviously, 93 or E85, 110 if you can get it, you know what I mean? But naturally aspirated, these things are nice and rowdy. And then supercharged, pro-charged, turboed, these things love boost. These things make hella power on boost, as long as you have the supporting mods. If you have a stock block, crank, everything like that, you're definitely only going to want to stay at that 450, 500 range. But if you have anything done internally, you should be good to push a little bit more. I wish I could get a better angle for this, but I actually do have the white line suspension all the way around with some pretty thick tires, but they're not the tallest. That was my mistake on those. But the suspension, I think I paid $500 for everything. That is all the white line goodies. I got the Megan Racing coilovers up in the front. I did have them in the rear as well, but they were kind of a little too stiff even after I adjusted them, so I got some KYB shocks. Not horrible, but ignore the mishmash lug nuts. This thing is definitely a work in project, a work in progress. I have my Jetta out there. That's my daily. So this thing is kind of being put to the side until I get a good amount of parts to do to it. Now mine, you guys can kind of see, I cut the hood. This was a stick-on, but I actually cut it, and all of this is drilled out, so air actually does go through there now, which is pretty dope. No complaints. And we're gonna get a nice little cold start for you guys. Don't want to beat on it too much because, like I said, I haven't driven this in a while. This is the first time warmed up, but now that is all stock headers. The only thing that's done is a muffler and resonator delete, and you know, just one of those basic welds. So it's not the loudest it can be. Definitely some headers on there would liven it up, some Ford Performance cams, especially since you can bolt those in without a tune. That would definitely liven it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. This is first video I've done in a little bit, but these things aren't bad. I wish I had a 05 to 09 example I could show off, so that way we can get a nice little comparison. But these things, especially for their price, pre 2020 to 2022, you could pick. I got mine for 13,000 with 32,000 miles on it, which is amazing. You can get 05 to 09 versions of this which is, like I said, same engine, same transmission, same drivetrain, everything. You can pick those up 5-6 grand used. Now everything's a little bit different, everything's inflated, but these are still great bang for your buck, especially if you plan on drifting it, or if you plan on just doing a donut machine, burnout machine, whatever you want to do. These things are really good first cars. They handle decently well, and as long as you're not one of those idiots that try and show off and spin out the first time trying to show off, you know, which is where Mustangs get their crowd killer name from, you should be good.